The movie opens on an abandoned farm where a terrifying humanoid creature weakly crawls out of the ground. Its body appears withered and frail, struggling with each movement. However, after consuming a few worms, it regains strength and comes back to life. This creature is none other than the legendary immortal Creeper, who has awakened after 23 years, beginning a new 23-day killing spree. The Creeper's first victim is a young man driving a sports car who stops in a forest, unaware that he has become the monster's prey. After feasting on the man, the Creeper is fully rejuvenated. He then retrieves his beloved truck and iconic battle axe, officially starting his deadly rampage. Meanwhile, a nearby town hosts a grand monster cosplay event, deliberately scheduled on the rumored day of the Creeper's resurrection. Many young people have gathered, dismissing the legends as mere myths, including Chase and his girlfriend, Lane. As the event unfolds, a man suddenly collapses with a bloody sword lodged in his body, shocking the crowd. However, it turns out to be a prank by a man named Brent, who is unaware that his joke is about to turn into a real nightmare. After the prank, Brent heads into the woods to relieve himself, where the Creeper, disgusted by his behavior, appears behind him. The Creeper grabs Brent by the neck, lifts him, and hangs him on an iron hook before finishing him off with 2 bone-made darts. Meanwhile, Chase and Lane, while enjoying snacks, visit a dart-throwing booth where the owner, Stu, teaches Lane how to throw darts, claiming they were handcrafted by the Creeper. Although they think he's joking, they don't realize the truth. They then participate in a raffle, winning the grand prize, a haunted house adventure supposedly tied to the Creeper's past. Despite Lane's reluctance and growing unease, Chase drags her along, signing a waiver for the adventure, which is to be live-streamed. The group, driven by Stu, unknowingly falls into a trap set by the event organizers. As they reach their destination, the Creeper, who has been tracking them, focuses on Lane as his next target. Meanwhile, the cameraman wanders into a cemetery and notices a mysterious woman in a black robe, unaware of the lurking danger. Angry over Chase getting too close to the host, Lane storms off into the cemetery. Chase follows, trying to explain, but Lane refuses to forgive him. In a desperate attempt to make amends, Chase pulls out a ring and proposes to Lane in the middle of the cemetery. Just as Lane turns to respond, the Creeper swoops in and kidnaps her. With no sign of Lane or the cameraman, the rest of the group searches the cemetery, only to find the cameraman's blood-stained camera. Their suspicions grow that something far more sinister than a wild animal is involved. As they stand in shock, Chase frantically returns, claiming that a flying monster has taken Lane. Realizing the creature that attacked the cameraman wasn't an animal, Chase chases after it, urging the others to call the police. Before long, Chase trips over the cameraman's corpse, and the group, horrified, rushes toward the haunted house for safety. Upon entering, the door slams shut behind them, locked by 3 figures in black robes. These figures, the event's organizers and devoted followers of the Creeper, had planned the entire event to offer victims to the Creeper. Meanwhile, Lane is bound to a stone slab as the Creeper, thrilled by his capture, stabs her in the abdomen. The trapped group searches desperately for an escape, but all exits are sealed. Suspicion falls on Stu, but he insists he knows nothing, leading to a heated argument. In desperation, Stu fires a gun, alerting the Creeper, who then stops his ritual and flies towards the house. Lane narrowly escapes, while the others hear the Creeper trying to break in, sending them into a panic. As they flee upstairs, they stumble upon Brent's mangled body hanging from the ceiling. Before they can react, the Creeper crashes through the window, his wings spread wide as he surveys them like a grim reaper. Stu fires at the Creeper, but the bullets have no effect on the immortal creature. The Creeper retaliates by hurling his axe, letting out a terrifying screech. Chase grabs the axe and confronts the Creeper, demanding to know Lane's whereabouts. Seeing Chase gaining the upper hand, the others pull him away, fearing he might kill the Creeper. In a desperate move, the Creeper discards his damaged arm, tearing one off a corpse and consuming it, causing a new arm to regenerate. The Creeper's secret to immortality lay in his ability to regenerate by consuming human flesh, no matter the extent of his injuries. Meanwhile, Lane, though injured, managed to free herself by grabbing a nearby dagger and cutting the ropes that bound her. Once freed from the stone slab, she armed herself with a few darts and spotted an air duct above. Using a table as a makeshift ladder, she escaped through the vent. While fleeing, Carrie got separated from the group and hid in a room, trying to call for help on her phone. However, there was no signal. Desperate, Carrie began to cry, but eventually, after tearing out some of her hair, she managed to break free from her bind and quickly ran downstairs. The creeper, after sniffing Carrie's hair, let out a twisted smile. Carrie eventually reunited with the others on the first floor, where they hid in a room, discussing how to handle the creeper. Suddenly, they heard strange noises from above, which silenced everyone. The air duct collapsed, and Lane, who had escaped, fell through. She urged the group to leave immediately, warning that the haunted house would soon become their tomb. They quickly left the room, intending to escape upstairs, and found a telephone in another room. Jamie rushed to use it, but accidentally stepped into a bear trap, causing excruciating pain. Despite this, Chase managed to call the police, but before he could relay much information, the creeper snatched the phone away. With no other options, they decided to return to the first floor, realizing that escaping the haunted house alone might not be enough to save them from the creeper. Their plan was interrupted when the creeper broke down the door, forcing everyone to flee except for Carrie, who was paralyzed with fear. She attempted to escape but was struck by a hammer thrown by the creeper, killing her instantly. The others could only watch in horror as Carrie's body was dragged away. Once they collected themselves, they noticed a strange stone behind them, with various ritualistic items on a nearby table. Together, they pushed aside the stone, uncovering a dark, eerie basement filled with the stench of rotting corpses, clearly the work of the extreme cultists who had been feeding live humans to the creeper. Realizing they couldn't just wait around, Lane decided to take the initiative. The group split up to lure the creeper out and find a way to kill him. Stu and Jamie, acting as bait, fearfully made their way to the second floor, unaware that the creeper was already lying in wait behind a door. The creeper managed to overpower them, instantly killing Jamie and severely injuring Stu. Instead of finishing Stu off immediately, the creeper leisurely put on a vinyl record, savoring the moment. As Stu struggled, he grabbed a sharp object and stabbed the creeper in the thigh, then smashed a photograph over his head. Angered, the creeper chased after Stu, who was trying to lure him downstairs. Meanwhile, Lane acted as bait, drawing the creeper's attention. While the creeper was distracted, Chase and Stu made their way to the roof, planning to lure the creeper outside and finish him with a cross. The plan worked, and as the creeper grabbed Lane, she stabbed him in the head with 2 darts, forcing him to drop her. She then blinded the creeper by throwing 2 more darts into his eyes. Chase and Stu, seeing their chance, dropped the cross from the roof, impaling the creeper and pinning him to the ground. However, a swarm of crows suddenly appeared, attacking Chase and Stu. In the chaos, Stu fell to his death, but Chase managed to escape back into the haunted house with Lane. The crows didn't follow them inside, but instead surrounded the creeper. When they looked outside, both the creeper and the crows had vanished, leaving only the cross behind. As Chase and Lane exited the haunted house, police cars arrived, and they were ushered to safety. However, the creeper, aided by the crows, had retreated to the basement, where he began to regenerate, hinting that the 23-day killing spree was far from over. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which movie you'd like us to recap next.